Dennis Quaid praises bada Ronald Reagan as favorite president. Dennis Quaid, star of the upcoming biopic Reagan, described the late U.S. President Ronald Reagan as a bada and his favorite president in a new interview. He also remarked that the years leading up to the iconic Republican president's time in office remind him of America today. Quaid made the points while speaking on famous Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson's podcast. He described his impression of Reagan's character and achievements during his 2 terms. "He was my favorite president. I will say that," Quaid declared to Peterson, adding that he voted for Carter in 1976, which he regretted. "I did vote for Jimmy Carter in '76, regretted it. But in 1980 I voted for Ronald Reagan. My dad was a huge Reagan fan. And I voted for him and went home, and my roommate at that time, from Texas, he said, 'Who'd you vote for?' And I said, 'Ronald Reagan.' And he said, 'You're out of the hippies.'" Peterson asked Quaid why he switched from voting for a Democratic candidate to a Republican one, to which the actor replied by describing the time immediately before Reagan as a depressing period that reminds him of today. "Those times remind me very much of what's going on today." Carter had his malaise speech. "The country had lost confidence in itself about who we are," Quaid said, adding, "We kind of accepted that we were a nation in decline. It was after Watergate, it was after Vietnam." The actor went on to mention how the U.S. under Carter tried to play nice with the Soviet Union and appease them, getting nothing in return as communism grew in the world. He then described how Reagan's entrance on the stage changed this attitude, stating, "Reagan, who had always been, this kind of cold warrior and great communicator, came along and told people, 'Pick yourself up, There's a brighter day ahead.'" Peterson remarked on the significance of the 40th president's stance on the Soviets constituting an evil empire. Both men characterized Carter being a nice guy on the world stage, noting it wasn't the right approach in dealing with the bada world leaders looking to hurt the United States. Quaid stated this is why he liked Reagan so much, because he was a bada as well who could go toe-to-toe with America's enemies. "That's one of the attractions that I had for Reagan," Quaid said. "He's a bada, but he's my